Peace and blessings, my beautiful and beloved people. This is Jazzy Nay coming your way, wishing you a groovy day. I welcome you here and hope that you will feel love, peace, and harmony. My intention is to always offer you good vibrations, inspiration, and hopefully a little education on how we can all achieve a better life in this crazy but beautiful and wonderful world in which we live. So let's get started on today's topic. Guys, I want to talk to you today about some practical tips to build self confidence. I know it's not easy to feel confident at all times, especially when there's always a lot of craziness going on in the world, all around, and coming from every direction. It's coming from where we work, where we live. It's just so much going on, and sometimes we feel a little unsure and uncertain about things. But the best way to deal with everything that's going on is to have that confidence that we can come through. We can get through it all. Okay, and hopefully with these tips, you'll be able to boost your confidence and feel better about yourself. Tip number 1 is to practice self-care. Take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. That means eating well, exercising regularly as much as you can. I say that as much as you can because if you have a body like mine with a lot of problems, sometimes it's not easy to. Well, there's always some kind of exercise we can do, yeah, right? So do it as often and as possible as we can, as much as we can, but we can always definitely try to eat well and getting enough sleep. Getting enough sleep is like a blessing, and I say that because I'm a person who I sleep, but I manage to stay awake at night for whatever reason. I have a nocturnal brain, I call it. It seems like my energy, my motivation, my best thoughts, my creativity, everything comes at night when I would prefer to be asleep, but everybody else is asleep and I'm wide awake. And then by the time I'm falling asleep early in the morning, everybody's getting up and getting at it. But I don't know. But the main thing is to get some sleep. So I don't worry about it as much. I used to be concerned about that. And then I thought about it one day. I said, well, it's not that you're not getting sleep. You're just getting sleep when it seems like the rest of the world is awake and going about the day. But the main thing is to get some sleep. And sometimes we have to adjust ourselves. If you're awake at night, especially if you have that kind of schedule. See, I'm retired right now, so it's not so bad for me. But if you have a job, that might be a little bit difficult unless you can get on a night shift. Okay, I'm getting all off on a tansy now, but the thing is, eating well, exercising regularly, and getting some sleep, and taking breaks when you need them. Okay, and because when you feel good about yourself, and all of those things help us feel good about yourself. So when we feel good about ourselves, the confidence will naturally increase. That was tip number 1. Tip number 2. Set achievable goals. Start small. Do a little bit at a time. Accomplish a little bit at a time. And work your way up. Because achieving small goals will give you a sense of accomplishment and help you build help you build momentum towards bigger goals. Because if you ever if you're like me and your basement is a little bit out of array, and I would look at it and go, I don't know how many times I'll go downstairs and say, all right, I want to tackle this basement, I want to get organized, and then I look around and get overwhelmed with so much to do, and it's like, okay, you know what, I think I'm going to go upstairs. I'll get to this later. But then after a while, you realize, come on, just get some. If even if you do a box a day, you will eventually see the progress. But if you just sometimes you get overwhelmed trying to do too much at once, can be discouraging. Can tend, will tend to uh, yeah, make you procrastinate and put it off, to some other time. And next, time passes, you're not getting it done. So if you do a little at a time, you start getting closer and closer and closer to your goal. And that's with everything else, anything you want to achieve. Do a little bit each day. Take a step each day towards your goal. And before you know it, you've reached it. Okay? So that's tip number 2, taking set achievable goals, little small chunks, and work your way up until before you know it, you've accomplished the whole entire shebang. Okay. Now, tip number 3 is surround yourself with positive people who will support you, encourage you, and they are the ones who will help you feel more confident in yourself and in your ability. Stay away from people who's negative, who's naysayers, because they're probably the ones don't have goals themselves. Or sometimes people get jealous; they don't want to see you succeed, and that's not always the case. But the thing is, you need positive people in your life to help feed that momentum. That encouragement that help push you, help you, give you that drive. Sometimes you just don't even talk to certain people about your goals. Just do it. Just do it. Just work on yourself. But like I said, if you're gonna talk it over with someone else, talk to somebody who's gonna be supportive and encouraging, and not somebody who's gonna hold you back. Okay. Tip number 4: embrace your strengths and your weaknesses, because nobody is perfect. So you have to focus on what you're good at and work on improving areas where you may struggle. So always focus on your strengths. When you focus on your strengths, you can give yourself that feedback of knowing, I'm good at something. I'm good at this. I am brave. I am strong, or whatever. I'm wise. I make wise decisions, or whatever. Whatever it is positive, always remember that. Just remember, your positive strengths. But also being aware of your weaknesses, not to focus on weaknesses, but to be aware and recognize that you do have weaknesses, but look at those weaknesses as an opportunity for growth. Take notice of your weaknesses, you realize, okay, that's something that I need to work on. And then eventually, you just turn that around into a strength. Okay, so like I said, just always focus on what's good, and challenge yourself to improve on the things that we consider weaknesses. Okay. Then tip number 5 is to practice self-affirmations. If you saw my other video, I was talking about affirmations. My last video I made about quitting smoking. It was basically about how I overcame that by self-affirmations. When you speak positively to yourself daily and tell yourself that you're capable, worthy, and deserving of success, eventually you find yourself living up to those attributes that you affirm yourself to have. And one of the things that I do sometimes, and this is one of the things that I do when I'm wide awake at night and I want to try to get myself to sleep, instead of letting my brain be scattered all over the place with all kinds of stuff, like what happened throughout the day, what am I going to do tomorrow, what's going to happen next week, and what I'm going to do this time. It's what I do to settle my brain and also give myself positive affirmations. I go through the alphabet from A to Z, and I find a word for each letter of the alphabet that is positive. and I state I am for each of those words, in front of each of those words. For example, I am able, I am bold, I am caring, I am daring, I am efficient, I am focused, I am goal oriented, and so forth and so on. Go throughout the alphabet. And you don't have to wait until you're laying in the bed at night like me. Start your day with that. Do it while you're driving down the road. Just constantly, while you're working, while you're doing dishes or whatever, go through the alphabet with each and give yourself a positive attribute for yourself. I am for each letter of the alphabet. So, and that's one of the great ways to build your self confidence. Okay, and remember that building self confidence takes time and effort, and you have to be patient with yourself. Okay, and celebrate your progress along the way. Every time you accomplish something, pat yourself up on the back. Treat yourself to something because you deserve it. Okay. So I hope that these tips have helped you, have been helpful for you guys, and let me know in the comments below which tip resonated with you the most. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's always a pleasure being here for you and with you, and be sure to subscribe and like this video and share it with someone else who could use this information. Again, this is Jazzy Nay coming your way, always wishing you a groovy day. Be well, be happy, be at peace.